It's cold outside. I wish I was somewhere warm, like the Caribbean. Let's make some jerk chicken soup. Before we do that, quick question. What are your thoughts on a frozen roll of toilet paper? Will it help you with a flaming butthole? There's only one way to find out. Let's make jerk chicken soup. This is hashtag get fat. Simple, easy dish, okay? Honestly, all you need are a few spices, and I guarantee you have them in your cupboard at home. And if you don't, knock on your neighbor's door. They'll probably help you out with that. All you really need to begin with is a blender, okay? Fresh ginger, some lime. We're gonna need some scallions, okay? Make sure you pre-wash your scallions. If you haven't washed them already, make sure you wash them. Scotch bonnet peppers are always needed for the soup, but honestly, I have serranos, so we're gonna use some serranos in this soup today. It will give it that kick and that heat that we're all looking for just to stay warm. And last but not least, in the bottom of the bin, we got some garlic. So all we're gonna be doing is dicing all these up, all roughly. We're gonna throw in the blender. The blender will do all the work for us. So you're gonna need 3 cloves of garlic. Next, you're gonna grab some ginger, okay? Everybody wants to peel the ginger. You really do not need to. Just cut off the dry ends on the ginger and just take off some of that skin. Once you got your ginger kind of taken down, roughly chop that as well. That goes right into the blender. And all I used was a whole little nub, medium-sized nub of ginger that I put into there. Grab your scallions. Make sure they're washed. These also, fine chop them. Right in the blender they go. I'm gonna use a couple more. Normally put 3 in there, but today we're gonna use 4. Next, grab a medium-sized onion. It's all you're gonna need for this recipe. Once again, roughly chopped all the way through, whoop, and right into the blender with everything else. And then the lime. Make sure when you use your lime, give it a quick little roll here. You want to get those juices flowing so when you do cut it in half and squeeze it into the blender, you're going to utilize most of it. Full lime. If you have the patience and you want extra flavor, well, yeah, guess what? Use the rind. We're not going to do that. We're just going to take the juice out of it. Oh, I fucking lost it. We're gonna use a half cup of soy sauce. This is gonna help the blending process of all the vegetables and also give a little bit more flavor to that chicken when we are cooking it up. I also got some spinach. And as of course, you know me, I'm fucking cheap. So I froze some spinach after I chopped it up, left it in the freezer. I saved a little bit of time earlier today. So what I did is I mixed all of my spices together. Salt, pepper, thyme, nutmeg, 5-spice, allspice, and then all of this is going straight into the blender. Simple and easy from here. Put the lid on, make sure your lid is on. If not, you will cover your house full of deliciousness, I guess. Set your blender to puree and let it do its thing. Cooking Caribbean food may have had a little bit too much of that Caribbean spice, if you know what I mean. Forgot to put my hot peppers in. So we're just gonna stop the blender, get your hot peppers in there as well, blend that up. Let's take a sniff. Oh yeah, that is fiery bumhole right there. My eyes are burning. Do you want to take a sniff?
A few moments later.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, I can do this. Oh. This is a good time to check on your roll of toilet paper in the freezer, because if this is what it smells like, let me tell you, that's what it's going to feel like when it comes out. So we finally have our puree. We're going to grab our chicken. This is going to be a quick, simple, fast marinade. So what you want to do when you grab your chicken out of the fridge is you want to score it. so you get most of these flavors penetrating through that chicken. What I'm gonna do once again is I'm just gonna score this chicken. I'm not gonna cut through it all the way. This will allow all those amazing ingredients in this puree to penetrate the skin and the flesh. I am gonna keep a couple tablespoons of this puree so when we are making the soup, don't judge me, yes, I'm crying. Jeez, I know you're watching me right now. It's not my fault. But keep a couple tablespoons of this. So when we are making the chicken broth for the jerk chicken soup, I'll give it a little bit more of a zing. Where's my ninja at? Found my ninja. This step is simple, easy. Honestly, all you need are a few vegetables in here. So I grabbed my ninja and also a yam. This is a massive yam. You only need half of this. So a medium-sized yam is what you need. Cut this guy in half, set this guy aside. Make sure you peel your yam. Don't put the skin in there. It's just, for the texture-wise, it's disgusting. You're just gonna dice it up nice and small. We are putting in the pressure cooker. The pressure cooker will do all the work for you, but at the same time, the last thing you want is for your pressure cooker to go off, and guess what? Your yams are undercooked. Pepper, simple, easy. This recipe does call for a green pepper. I only had a yellow pepper or a red pepper in the fridge, so I decided to go with the yellow today. Grab a can of red kidney beans, okay? Beans make you fart, but they're good for you, especially with your BMs. Allow them to happen. Nice, gentle. That's soothing. Once you get your can of kidney beans opened, you do want to rinse them under some water because, as you can see, there's a lot of ooey gooey juice in there. You don't want to put that into your soup. All right, we got our vegetables all chopped up here. We got our chicken marinating on the side. Next thing we want to do is get your pressure cooker out. You're going to turn it onto sear. We want to sear the chicken. We want to take all those flavors we put in that sauce and give it a nice little coating on the outside, which will add more flavor to the soup as we're cooking. And once again, as I said, keep a couple tablespoons of that marinade aside. It changes the whole flavor profile of this soup. Trust me. All right, so the pot is hot, set to sear. Next thing we need is a little bit of oil, okay? You don't want to go overboard, just a little bit goes a long way. About 2 tablespoons of canola oil, vegetable oil, whatever you have. We're gonna grab our chicken that's been marinating for a few minutes on the side here. Make sure it is covered in that marinade. That is the key. Put your chicken in slowly and gently. The last thing you want to do is burn yourself, which I never do, ever. Once your chicken is in the pot on sear, you want to leave it searing for about 2 to 3 minutes each side. You want a nice golden color on the outside of that chicken. So let her cook down, don't touch it. The chicken has been browning on each side for about 2 minutes now. Your chicken is not cooked, so don't even think about putting this in your mouth unless you want salmonella. Pull it out, leave it to the side. Next thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a little bit of chicken stock. You don't want a lot, but you need 4 cups altogether. All this lovely brown stuff at the bottom of your pot is flavor. You wanna keep that. So use a little bit of chicken stock in there, work it down a bit, and don't forget, always use your cock spoon. If you don't have one, go get one. All right, so once you have most of those lovely brown pieces off the bottom of your pot, next thing you want to do is you want to go in there with your vegetables. So we're going to throw in some yellow peppers and some sweet potato. Let that cook down for a few minutes. Give it a stir so it picks up all that lovely flavor that is in the pot so far. Yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by the number 69. All right, so our sweet potato slash yams are cooking down, getting sauteed off with our yellow peppers. What we want to add in next is a couple tablespoons of the puree. This just added extra flavor and deliciousness to this whole dish. Grab your beans, make sure they are strained off. They are clean and delicious. Put them in there nice and gently. Next, your corn. Frozen corn works the best if you want to sit there and honestly just take every kernel off a cob. Be my guest. You just stupid. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab our chicken. Place that right on top of those vegetables. Four cups of chicken stock. If you got fresh chicken stock at home, use it. If not, I'm using this brand, which you can't see. Once your chicken stock's all in there, you do want to grab your lid. Set your lid, making sure when you are putting it on there, you do set it to seal. If you leave it to vent, you ain't cooking shit, number one, and number two, you're not even pressure cooking. All you're doing is boiling the shit out of this food. Once your lid is on, set your pressure cooker to high for 20 minutes. Let it do its thing while you clean up the mess you've created, or the mess I've just created. See you soon. All right, pressure cooker's gone off. It's all ready to go. Before you open this lid, remember, this thing's like a bomb. What you wanna do is vent it out all the way and step the fuck back. Who's a bad cock spatula? Yes, you are. So the seal is broken on the pressure cooker. Time to open it up. Open up gently, turn slowly, and don't put your face in there unless you want a steamy, hot facial. You're gonna add in a half a cup of heavy coconut cream. Once you add this in, you wanna let it sit in there for about 4 or 5 minutes. Let it break down. One big reason why you do not add this in during the cooking process is the fact it will actually separate and it will not do the trick it's supposed to. Stir it all together. Let it sit for a few. And then we're ready to serve. Before we do that, as we all know, let's taste it. Make sure we're not missing anything. Bro. Once that coconut cream is in there, cooking down for a few minutes, you want to find your chicken and just fork it. It's easier to serve that way. So it's been a few minutes since the coconut cream was in there. We did fork our chicken, so of course when you are serving it, everybody gets a little piece. But if you don't want to, be greedy. Take a whole piece. Best way to finish this dish off, a little bit of green onions, some cilantro, that's if you like it, and a lime wedge. Squeeze that on top of that. Plop it in there. Let's try this. We gotta test this theory out. Where's that toilet paper?